The car stopped. The world didn't. Metal twisted. Glass shattered. Time fractured. He survived the impact, but something inside him did not. Long after the wreckage was cleared and the scars faded, the crash kept happening every night, every sound, every breath. His body walked away alive. His mind stayed behind. And only when he stopped running from the memory did God begin to heal what survival could not. Survival is not the same as healing, they told him. He was lucky. No broken spine. No permanent physical damage. No visible scars that couldn't fade with time. He nodded politely. He smiled when expected. But survival is not the same as healing. Because while his body recovered, his nervous system stayed in survival mode. The moment that refused to end, the crash, replayed itself endlessly. In dreams, in sudden noises, in the screech of brakes that weren't there. Time refused to move forward. 1 second had stretched itself into years. When the world feels the accident, the world felt different. Cars were no longer neutral. Roads felt hostile. Movement itself felt threatening. His body reacted before his mind could reason. Heart racing, hands shaking, breath shallow. Trauma does not ask permission. The loneliness of invisible wounds. People understood broken bones. They did not understand hypervigilance, nightmares, the exhaustion of constant alertness. How are you still affected? They asked gently. You're alive. He wished being alive felt like living. The shame of not moving on trauma carries shame. It whispers, you should be over this. It accuses others have it worse. It isolates. So he stopped talking about it. Silence became his coping mechanism. His body remembered what his mind tried to forget. He tried logic, statistics, reassurance, positive thinking. None of it worked, because trauma does not live in thoughts alone. It lives in the body. Sleep became a battlefield night, offered no refuge. The moment his guard dropped, the crash returned. Sweat, gasping breath. The sensation of impact, morning brought exhaustion, not rest. When strength becomes a performance, he learned how to function. Work, conversations, daily responsibilities. But functioning is not the same as being okay. Strength became something he performed, not something he felt. The fear of losing control, what frightened him most, was not the memory. It was the lack of control. His own body felt unpredictable. His reactions embarrassed him. What if this never stops? He wondered. Trauma's quiet theft. Trauma steals subtly joy, spontaneity, peace. It does not destroy them outright, it erodes them. And he felt himself shrinking. When help feels incomplete, he sought help where he could. Some things helped, others didn't. But something remained untouched, a wound deeper than techniques. And he began to realize this was not just psychological, it was spiritual. God felt distant after the crash. Before the accident, faith had felt simple. Afterward, God felt silent. If God protected him, why did the crash happen? If God saved his life, why did he feel broken? Anger he didn't want to admit. He didn't want to be angry at God. But he was angry at the randomness, angry at the fear, angry at surviving only to suffer. Faith felt complicated, the prayer that changed everything one night. Exhausted and undone, he stopped trying to sound faithful. He prayed, honestly, God, I survived, but I am not okay. No theology, no explanation, just truth. God met him in his nervous system. God did not answer with logic. He answered with presence, not instantly removing fear, but calming the storm beneath it. For the first time, his body felt safe enough to breathe. Healing began with safety. God showed him something unexpected. Healing does not begin with courage. It begins with safety, and safety comes from being held, not from being strong. Learning to let the body unweaned faith taught him to listen to his body instead of fighting it, to pause, to ground, to breathe, to trust that fear was not failure. Was information. God reframed the crash. God did not erase the memory. He reframed it. The crash was no longer proof of danger. It became evidence of survival, not a sentence, a chapter. Trauma lost its authority. Memory still existed, but it no longer controlled the present. God helped him separate then. From now, the past stopped bleeding into every moment. The return of sleep. Rest returned slowly. Nightmares softened. Sleep deepened. Peace crept back, not dramatically, but faithfully. Faith did not remove caution. Healing did not make him reckless. It made him grounded. Fear no longer dictated his life. Wisdom did. Compassion replaced judgment. He stopped criticizing himself, stopped asking why he wasn't over it. He learned that trauma is not weakness. It is the body remembering pain. His faith became embodied faith, moved from belief to experience. From head to body, God was no longer an idea. He was a presence that regulated his fear when triggers lost their power. Sounds became neutral again. Movement felt safe. Triggers still appeared, but they passed. They no longer owned him. Gratitude without guilt. He could finally be grateful for survival, without denying the pain that followed. Two truths could coexist. The gift, trauma, unexpectedly brought trauma, softened him. It gave him empathy, patience, depth. What tried to break him refined him. Faith as a refuge, not a demand. God never demanded. Healing on a schedule. He offered refuge, and refuge allowed healing to unfold naturally. When the body trusts, again trust returned quietly. Muscles relaxed. Breath slowed. The body learned the danger had passed. Trauma did not define him. The crash was part of his story, not its conclusion. God reclaimed the narrative. A new relationship with the past. The memory no longer attacked him. It rested, integrated, understood, contained. Healing is not. Forgetting. Healing did not erase the crash. It removed its power. Faith did what survival could. Not survival saved his life. Faith restored it. He survived a car crash, but trauma followed him long after the wreckage was gone. And when medicine, logic, and strength reached their limits, God healed what survival alone could not. If you survived something but still feel broken, you are not failing, you are healing. And healing is not about forgetting what happened. It is about learning that you are safe. Now God does not rush this work. He stays with you until your body believes it. 2.